Hello gamers, welcome to RetroCade. Among hundreds of upcoming video games, we have decided to make a list of the one with female protagonists. But before heading to the video, what game series do you think could benefit from a female protagonist? We would like to hear your opinion, so tell us in comments. Assassin's Creed Syndicate seemed to start a pattern in the series where the player can choose between a male or female character to play as. It was dropped in Mirage but returns for the upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows. The new title finally moves into the long-requested setting of feudal Japan and introduces two protagonists. One option is to play as a real-life samurai Yasuke for a more combat-heavy experience. But for those interested in the stealth mechanics that define Assassin's Creed, there is Naui. She is a shinobi, one of the stealth-based assassins that would later be mythologized into the modern concept of ninjas. Not much is known about Naui's story, though the trailers do seem to hint at her being motivated by revenge. This surreal indie game addresses some issues not seen very often in video games. There aren't a lot of game characters who are both deaf and mute. Harmonium, the musical, is jumping on a largely untouched opportunity to explore this topic. Protagonist Melody Makato is a child who grew up without the ability to hear or speak, and has to rely on sign language to communicate, but she doesn't let that affect her passion for music. Accessibility is a big theme of the game, with Melody's fantastical journey being centered around a quest to produce a piece that can be accessible to all her friends, regardless of any disabilities they might have. This wild adventure throws players into a Victorian-inspired steampunk world, which they get to systematically destroy with time travel. Clockwork Revolution players don't have much information about her yet, but the protagonist is a young woman who stumbles across a time machine and uses it to start a revolution against the authoritarian rule of Lady Ironwood. Given her apparent role in the game, it can be inferred that she has some sort of personal disdain for the antagonist, possibly coming from a working-class background at the lower end of the social hierarchy. What is known is that the heroine will make extensive use of the chronomancer to alter history, undoing the city's achievements and bringing it to ruin.
Alter our past. If you threaten...
I'm a fighter. I'm meant to be in the arena.
Wanderstop follows a former adventurer named Alta, who is stuck having to run a tea shop against her will. The game adopts the basic format of many so-called cozy games, like Stardew Valley and Animal Crossing, with gameplay heavily emphasizing the day-to-day life of running the shop. Alta has to do things like cleaning, gathering resources, making tea, and serving it to customers. The twist is the way the game juxtaposes the repetitive and mundane tasks with Alta's aggressive and impatient personality. This is likely to subvert expectations for fans of the genre.
The guy who owns the shop, to see if my help is needed anywhere.
The sudden announcement of a LEGO Horizon game was a bit surprising for players, but the trailer managed to win over a lot of people with its humor and its stop-motion-inspired animation. Aloy once again appears to be the star. Though other characters might be playable, this version incorporates a lot more slapstick and screwball humor compared to its predecessors. Aloy does do some machine hunting, but that is also mixed with village buildings, which allows for a lot of wacky options. Amusingly, it might even cross over with some other LEGO properties, with Hot Dog Guy having a prominent role in the trailer, and the ability to dress Aloy in costumes taken from original LEGO characters.
Aloy, the Thunderjaw's back!
Oh right, the Thunderjaw!
Life is Strange was a popular episodic adventure game about a photography student, Max Caulfield, who discovers she can control time. After two sequels focusing on different protagonists, Double Exposure brings Max back into the forefront. As if she didn't go through enough in the first game, the sequel involves Max having to deal with the murder of another friend, Safi. But there is a twist. In addition to time travel, Max discovers she can enter a parallel universe, one where Safi is alive. The game will involve Max having to travel between both realities to solve the murder.
into a parallel timeline.
Every thought you've ever had.
Admittedly, not much has been revealed about the upcoming sci-fi shooter from BioShock creator Ken Levine. Judas appears to take place on a spaceship called the Mayflower, where things are not going well. As vague as they are about the story, the trailers seem to emphasize a young woman who is often covered in bruises. According to Levine, she is the Judas identified in the title. She appears to really hate the people running the ship and starts a revolution, with the idea apparently being that the player's actions determine how things work out for her and the characters she encounters along the way. Not much else is clear about the game, other than that it appears to feature some form of bodily augmentation, but it will be interesting to see where Levine goes with this. It's been 19 years since fans last saw Joanna Dark, the star of the iconic spiritual successor to GoldenEye 007. Perfect Dark was an espionage shooter centered around Dark's mission to uncover an intricate conspiracy set against a sci-fi backdrop. Despite its popularity, the only follow-up it really got was a prequel and a remaster in 2010. That was until Crystal Dynamics began working on a reboot, which was finally revealed at the 2024 Xbox Showcase. The developers have clearly been taking advantage of the technical improvements that have happened in video games since the original's release, with the trailer featuring parkour that is reminiscent of Mirror's Edge and combat stealth mechanics that look a bit like the ones in Dishonored.
She'll keep fighting till we find her.
I hope so. It's just hard to believe this
South
is all
of Midnight,
really
a
happening.
Cajun-inspired fantasy game centered around a teenager named Hazel, who tries to track her missing mother through the bayou. The trailers make it clear that she is in for some bizarre encounters, many drawing on Cajun folklore and culture. The most recent trailer revealed one of her main companions to be a giant talking fish who also acts as a mount. One interesting detail about this game is its art style, which is curiously designed to look like stop-motion animation.
Welcome to the first ever open-world Star Wars game.
Ubisoft's exciting foray into Star Wars follows Kay Vess, an up-and-coming scoundrel trying to navigate the galaxy's criminal underworld. Her adventure will take her all over the galaxy and across several different planets, all of which can be freely explored. And she has a lot of options for just how to survive in these scum and villainy-filled worlds. The gameplay teaser indicated she already knows a few things about sneaking into heavily guarded places and improvising when things go wrong. She is also a capable speeder rider and can fly her own starship. This looks like something that will be a very unique take on Star Wars.
Trailblazer to transition from planet to planet.
MD, fire up the hyperdrive.
Ready to jump.
Won't you at least tell me what we're doing here?
Unknown 9. Awakening could be described as looking like something between Assassin's Creed and Dishonored, with the historical realism of the former and the special powers of the latter. Superpowered heroine, Haruna can tap into something called the Fold, a kind of otherworldly space that allows her to develop supernatural abilities. One of those powers is apparently the ability to possess and control enemies. These are valuable skills for her quest to take on a mysterious secret society, the titular Unknown 9. Although India has been highlighted as a major setting, the official description of the game indicates that Haruna may have visited several historical settings, though Portugal is currently the only other known setting.
The cycle is starting again. How many more times must we endure the vanity of the Nine?
Wuchang, Fallen Feathers takes place in the later years of Ming Dynasty China and mixes history with fantasy. The trailer hints at supernatural monsters that will presumably be bosses, but it also puts a lot of emphasis on an unidentified warrior woman who seems to be the protagonist. Not much is revealed about her, but she is shown to be proficient with a great sword and appears to have supernatural abilities. She refers to it as the gift, though her description of how it corrupts its wielder and the shot of ominous purple eyes at the end suggest it might actually be a curse. The Grand Theft Auto series has a history of being very male-dominated. GTA 5 got some backlash on its initial release due to the fact that the game centered around 3 men. Grand Theft Auto 6 is finally set to change that. For the first time, the series actually features a woman taking center stage. From what's shown in the trailer, she appears to have a history of causing chaos, enough that she's done time in prison at least once. But she might have a softer side if her relationship with her currently unnamed partner is anything to go on. Either way, it will be nice to see a woman cast as something other than a side character.
The way she thought